Hello everyone. In the previous session, we had seen about feedback amplifiers. So today we will discuss oscillators. So what is an oscillator? So as the name itself indicates, oscillator, it generates oscillations, right? It's a circuit which produces a repetitive waveform at the output without the application of an external input signal. So without applying an input AC, this oscillator circuit will generate AC signals. Okay. So how does it get that energy to generate AC signals? It receives DC energy. It receives DC power supply, energy from DC power supply, and changes it into AC energy of derived frequency. So it actually converts some DC energy into AC supply or AC energy. So the frequency of oscillations, it depends upon the constants of the device. So if you look at the diagram of an oscillator, so this can be seen as a block diagram wherein there will be an oscillator circuit inside. So it will take DC supply voltage and convert it into some oscillations. Those oscillations maybe sine wave, square wave, sawtooth wave. So these oscillators, they actually generate the signals. Okay, they generate these signals with different frequencies by getting from the DC power supply. So how do they create these signals? Is they use the principle of the feedback amplifiers. So we have seen in the feedback amplifiers, there are two types of feedback amplifiers, one with positive feedback and negative feedback. The negative feedback, that is suitable for amplifiers, whereas the positive feedback, we said we use them in oscillators. Okay. So first we will see the classification of oscillators. Oscillators can be classified into different types based on different criteria. Based on the operating principle, there are two types of oscillators. One is negative resistance effect oscillator. Other one is feedback oscillators. Okay, so what we are going to study is the feedback oscillators. Then based on the type of the output waveform, we can classify the oscillators as sinusoidal oscillators or harmonic oscillators which generate sinusoidal waveforms. The other one is non-sinusoidal oscillators or relaxation oscillators which generate non-sinusoidal waveforms. Non-sinusoidal means they can be square wave, a sawtooth wave, or triangular waves, or something which are non-sinusoidal. The next classification is based on the frequency that is generated by the oscillation. There might be different ranges of frequency. So if the frequency generated is between 20 to 20 kilohertz, it will be audio frequency, AF range. If the frequency is between 20 kilohertz to 30 megahertz, it is RF range, that is radio frequency oscillators. If it is 30 megahertz to 300 megahertz, it comes under very high frequency range, so very high frequency oscillators. So if it is 300 to 3 gigahertz, it is ultra high frequency range UHF oscillators. Or if it comes between 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz, okay, that is microwave range. So those are microwave oscillators. So that is based on frequency generation. Then based on the circuit employed, you also call them auxiliary circuit used, apart from the amplifier. What circuits you use to generate oscillations? They can be RC oscillators where you use resistors and capacitances. The other one is LC oscillators where you use inductance and capacitances. Okay. So these are the different types of oscillators briefly. The next we will see very important criteria or Barkhausen's criteria for oscillation. So this is a very important question from the point of view of examination. It is a sure question in the exam from the 4th module. It can be asked for 5 to 6 marks. So this criteria, it specifies the requirements, necessary and sufficient conditions to generate oscillations. Okay. So consider a basic inverting amplifier with an open loop gain A, as shown in this figure. You know what is an inverting amplifier is. So if you provide an input sine wave at the input, at the output, it will be amplified, but it will be inverted. It's an inverting amplifier with a phase shift of 180 degrees, right? So there is a phase shift of 180 degrees. So as the basic amplifier is inverting, it produces a phase shift of 180 degrees between input and output because it is inverting amplifier. So now what happens in oscillators is we are not supposed to give any input voltage. We are not supposed to give any input voltage, but from the feedback, from the output, a feedback should be given to the input voltage. From the output, a feedback should be given to the input voltage, and that should be sufficient to continue the oscillations. And how to do that? What we observe is the input is obtained at the output with the phase shift of 180 degrees, right? Then if you give this back to the input as it is, the input is not what you would have got from this, right? There will be a phase shift of 180 degrees. And that is why while giving the feedback, that feedback should cause another 180 degree phase shift, which will add to this 180 degree phase shift provided by the amplifier. Okay, the amplifier provides 180 degree phase shift. If the feedback also provides 180 degree phase shift, so 180 plus 180 is 360 degrees. 360 degrees means, since it is periodic, 360 degrees is the same as the 0 degree, right? That means it will be in the same phase as the input. Okay, the input Vi applied to the amplifier is to be derived from its output V0 using feedback network. But the feedback must be positive, right? Because that is the voltage derived from the output using feedback must be in phase with Vi, whereas the output is in opposite phase. The feedback should be in phase with Vi. That is why the feedback network must introduce a phase shift of 180 degrees while feeding back the voltage from output to input. Okay, the principle is the inverting amplifier, it produces a phase shift of 180 degrees. That is why the feedback also should provide a phase shift of 180 degrees, so that the feedback voltage and the input voltage are in same phase. Okay, so consider this inverting amplifier with feedback. Here the inverting amplifier provides a phase shift of 180 degrees. So if this is the input, this would be the output. So when you connect the voltage back to the input, it also should provide a 180 degree phase shift. So this is 180 degree phase shifted, that is output. If this provides 180 degree phase shift, this signal will be the same as the input signal. Okay, so what our intention in oscillation is, we are not connecting any input voltage here. In fact, we are connecting a feedback voltage which will get amplified and you will get the signals. You might have a question like, without connecting any input, how you are getting this out? So what happens initially is, it's nothing like we are not connecting any input to this. We are not connecting any AC input, but there will be some DC power supply. In any amplifier, you have seen in op-amps also, if you have used op-amp as an amplifier, you are connecting VCC and VEE, right? So those are DC power supplies. So those DC power supplies, they create some noise in the circuit, and those noise will be small oscillations. So that noise, since it is an amplifier, that noise will be amplified. So when it is amplified, it is again fed back to the input. Since it is a positive feedback, they get added up, right? So they get added up and it will keep increasing. The amplitude keeps increasing, and when they become constant, they will be sustained. Okay, so that is a way, some small noise which is there in the circuit, they will be amplified until you get sustained oscillations. Okay, so that is the principle of your oscillators. So what we observe is the amplifier and feedback, they should provide 180 degree plus 180 degree. Total phase shift is 360 degrees or 0 degrees since it is periodic. Okay, there is another criteria. If you consider the voltage Vi that is applied, you know that the gain is A, that is V0 by Vi, right? So V0 is A times of Vi. Output is gain multiplied by input voltage. Now, the feedback factor beta, it decides the feedback, that beta is Vf divided by V0. We have seen this in the previous discussion also. Beta is Vf divided by V0, or in other sense, feedback voltage Vf, that is equal to beta into V0. So if you substitute V0 is equal to AVI, we will get Vf is equal to beta A times of Vi. Now, in this case, we are not supposed to give the input voltage, right? But the feedback voltage itself is connected as the input voltage. That is, Vi will be equal to Vf. So in this term, if you see, when will Vi be equal to Vf? Vi will be equal to Vf when this term beta A is 1, right? Vi will be equal to Vf when this term beta A is equal to 1. So that is called the Barkhausen's criteria for oscillation. One thing is that the total phase shift should be 0 degrees or 360 degrees. The other one is this beta A should be equal to 1. Okay. For oscillator, we want the feedback should drive the amplifier, and hence Vf must act as Vi. So feedback voltage is given as the input voltage. Okay, so we see that Vf is sufficient to act as Vi when the magnitude of that beta A is equal to 1, and the phase of Vf is same as Vi. That means phase of Vf can be equal to Vi only when the feedback network introduces another 180-degree phase shift in addition to the 180-degree phase shift introduced by the inverting amplifier. Because here already there is 180-degree phase shift, so this should provide another 180-degree phase shift, so that 180 plus 180 is 360 degrees, or in one rotation it becomes 0 degrees. So the total phase shift around the loop is 360 degrees. So these are the two conditions. One is beta A is equal to 1. Other one is total phase shift is 180 degrees. Okay. So these two criteria, that is called Barkhausen's criteria, to make the circuit work as an oscillator. To summarize, we can state the Barkhausen's criteria. So when you're asked in the exam, you should write both the points. One is the magnitude of the product of the open loop gain of the amplifier A and the feedback factor beta is unity. That means beta A is unity. Beta A is 1. The magnitude of beta A is 1. A is open loop gain of the amplifier. Beta is the feedback factor. That is what is written in the statement here. The other one is the total phase shift around the loop is 0 degrees or 360 degrees. Okay? That is because Vf will be acting as Vi. So that should be in phase with the input voltage. So that is about the Barkhausen's criteria. Okay, this is what I said. No input signal is needed to start the oscillation. We are not giving any input signals. Normally, beta A is made greater than 1. Initially, beta A is made greater than 1 to start the oscillation. And once we get the required thing, the circuit will adjust itself to get beta is equal to 1, resulting in self-sustained oscillations as shown in this figure. The small noise, whatever we have, it keeps amplifying. When we have beta A is greater than 1, it keeps increasing. The amplitude keeps increasing. And once we get the required amplitude, we make beta A is equal to 1, and that will give you the sustained oscillations. As we said, when beta A is greater than 1, there will be an increase in the amplitude. Okay, there will be increase in the amplitude, or we call them growing oscillations. When beta A is greater than 1, the oscillations are of growing type. When beta A is less than 1, the oscillations will decrease. The amplitude will decrease. They are called decaying oscillations. We also call them damping oscillations, damping effect, wherein amplitude will keep reducing. Whereas if beta A is equal to 1, we get sustained oscillations, because in that case Vf will be equal to Vi, so its amplitude will be equal. Okay, that means all the amplitudes, the amplitude remains constant in case of sustained oscillations. So that's about the Barkhausen's criteria for oscillation. Next, we will study some of the oscillator circuits. Okay, so one of the important oscillator circuits is RC phase shift oscillator. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram of an RC phase shift oscillator. We call it RC because here we have pair of resistance and capacitances. We actually have 3 pairs of resistance and capacitances. So C, this is capacitance, R, and here there is one R, that is resistance. Okay, so 3 capacitance and 3 resistances. So what you observe this circuit, you have, this is an RC phase shift oscillator using an op-amp. Okay, the same RC phase shift oscillator, sometimes you can use a transistor to generate this amplifier, maybe a BJT or an FET or any kind of transistor to create an amplifier. Here we are using an op-amp in the amplifier stage. So what you can observe is, this is the amplifier stage, and what you see below, this is the feedback stage. Okay, so you have studied the circuit of an inverting amplifier. So what you see, this is an inverting amplifier at the top. Inverting amplifier provides a phase shift of 180 degrees, right? So this is an op-amp. To the inverting terminal, you are connecting an input. In place of input, here you have Vf, right? The feedback, and there is a resistance R. Here there is a feedback part with RF. This is an inverting amplifier. So from the output, we are connecting back to the input. This is the feedback. This is the amplifier, and this is the feedback. So this produces a phase shift of 180 degrees, and this produces a phase shift of another 180 degrees. So altogether, the phase shift is 0 degrees or 360 degrees. It consists of 3 RC stages. So if it has to provide phase shift of 180 degrees, 3 stages are there. So 180 divided by 3, each stage provides a phase shift of 60 degrees. Okay, so it can provide a maximum phase shift of approximately 90 degrees, but we use it to provide a phase shift of 60 degrees. So this is an alternate circuit of your RC phase shift oscillator. In some books they give different circuits, so anyone, whichever is easy for you, you can study that. But in your prescribed book, this is a circuit given. Okay, so here also you can see the same thing, but it is written like this. Another resistance you can see in this thing. Anyway, both the circuits are fine. So this will be the output voltage, and this will be the feedback voltage that is given. Okay. The oscillation occurs at the frequency for which the total shift through the 3 stages is 180 degrees. So each stage should provide 60-degree phase shift. So you can see there are 3 pairs of R and C, each one provides 60-degree phase shift. So altogether the phase shift is 180 degrees. The op-amp is in inverting mode. It provides additional phase shift of 180 degrees. So 180 plus 180, total phase shift is 360 or 0 degrees, right? So that is what we have seen. And there are some circuit considerations. There are actually derivations for this, but we will not discuss those derivations as it is out of the scope of your syllabus as well as your understanding. So we will just take them as standard equations which are derived, and we will use this as considerations while solving our numerical examples. Okay, for 3 equal RC stages, the feedback factor is beta, that is feedback voltage divided by output voltage. That should be 1 upon 29. In case of RC phase shift oscillator, beta is 1 by 29. So we know that Barkhausen's criterion is beta A is greater than 1. To start the oscillation, beta A should be greater than 1, right? So if beta A is greater than 1, that means if you substitute beta is 1 by 29, so A will be greater than 29. That means voltage gain of amplifier in case of an RC phase shift oscillator must be always greater than 29. Only then it can generate oscillations. Then the frequency of oscillation, even for this there is a derivation. So now we will just take this as a consideration. F naught, the frequency of oscillation, it is given by 1 upon 2 pi RC into root 6. Okay, so this is the equation. We will use it in our problems, in numerical examples. So when you are asked to explain RC phase shift oscillator along with the circuits, you have to write these equations, which are design considerations. Okay, beta should be equal to 1 upon 29, which means your gain should be greater than 29. Then frequency of oscillation is 1 by 2 pi RC into root 6. This RC, it is called time constant. The product of resistance and the capacitance, it's called time constant. We consider it while designing a oscillator. Then we know the closed loop voltage gain in an inverting amplifier. The voltage gain of an inverting amplifier is minus RF by R1, right? We have studied in op-amps. Since it is inverting amplifier, the gain is minus RF by R1. Here in place of R1, we have this R, right? So it is minus RF by R. Gain is minus RF by R. To start the oscillations, beta A is greater than 1. That means we have said that A should be greater than 29, right? Gain should be greater than 29. So the gain, magnitude of the gain should be greater than 29. Magnitude in the sense RF by R. This RF by R should be greater than 29. If RF by R is greater than 29, this means RF is greater than 29 times of R. So this is another consideration we need to take while designing RC phase shift oscillator. The feedback resistance should be greater than 29 times of the R. Okay, to start the oscillation. For sustained oscillations, beta is equal to 1, right? That means RF should be equal to 29 times of R. We can take this equation, assume certain value of R and get the value of RF and solve the problem. Okay, so this is the way we can explain RC phase shift oscillator, the circuit of that, and the equations. Okay, so today we have seen Barkhausen's criterion for oscillation. Okay, in fact, we have started with the oscillators part, principle or introduction of what is an oscillator, classification, that is types of oscillators, Barkhausen's criteria for oscillation, which is a very important question. Then RC phase shift oscillator, this is also an important question. Either RC phase shift oscillator, or there is another type of oscillator, Wien bridge oscillator. One of them will be asked in the exam. You should explain the operation of it with the circuit diagram. then write down the equations. Okay, so in the tomorrow's class, we will see the circuit and operations and equations in the case of Wien bridge oscillator. Then we will move on to another IC oscillator, that is 555 timer, IC 555 timer, and how it can be used to generate oscillations. Okay, that's all for today.